2018 is considered a successful year of Vietnam's tourism with outstanding results, excellent completion of the assigned plans, and the position of the tourism industry is constantly increasing. According to data from the General Department of Tourism, Vietnam tourism expected 15.6 million international visitors, serving more than 80 million domestic tourists. Total revenue from tourists reaches more than 620,000 billion VND. Localities which are the major tourist centers of the country have growth rates. Also in 2018, Vietnam was ranked 3rd out of 10 countries with highest tourist growth by the World Tourism Organization, up 3 places compared to 2017. Vietnam is also recognized as the top destination in Asia at the World Travel Awards ceremony. At the same time, according to the White Book 2019 of the European Chamber of Commerce (Eurochamp), Vietnam's tourism industry has achieved many successes and has positive and creative reforms in recent years, especially the year 2018. Entering 2019, Vietnam's tourism industry aims to welcome 103 million visitors, including 18 million international visitors, serving 85 million domestic tourists. Greetings from Channel Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet. In today's show, let's talk about the tourism industry in Vietnam in 2018 and what are the comments from the Eurochamp, the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam. And the guest speaker in our program today is Mr. Conner, the co-chair of Tourism and Hospitality Sector Committee of Eurochamp. So thank you for joining us. The first question is, what is your comment on the tourism industry of Vietnam in 2018 and especially on the international tourist arrivals?
2018 has been a good market for Vietnam for international tourist arrivals. We have seen quite a good increase from the Korean market coming here to Vietnam, mainly due to the fact of increased air capacity and airlines and inbound, but also the popularity of Vietnam within Korea. The Chinese market continues also to grow, the regional market grows, but also the European market grows. So the growth factor of the inbound market to Vietnam is good. Also, it could be much better if we would create the kind of competitive alignment and the competitive, I would say, benefits other countries at the moment enjoy.
In your opinion, what are the obstacles in the tourism and hospitality industry here in Vietnam?
I think Vietnam at the moment is a little bit at the stage where there is a big interest of Asian countries coming to Vietnam, and there's also interest of European countries or North American tourists want to come here to Vietnam to do tourism. But there are certain obstacles still at the moment which prevent the long-haul destinations to arrive here. And we have outlined also in our white book what the obstacles are and what we should do to transform those obstacles to allow, let's say, a more sustainable approach of tourism coming to Vietnam. I give you one example, just with last year. As you know, for example, for Korean or Chinese traveler, many times, and we have seen this in other countries and other destinations, a certain city or a certain destination within a country will become very popular for a certain time. So let's say for Korean traveler, the last 2 years Da Nang was a very popular place to travel. Now it has slowly changed. Now it's Cam Ranh and Nha Trang, and then it will change maybe to Phu Quoc. So, but then what has happened with the destinations where they then go out again and go to the next one? There's a kind of void, there's a kind of emptiness. So this we call not a long, sustainable kind of travel, but it's more, I would say, a periodical kind of travel. So Vietnam at the moment has to decide, do they want to invest into a sustainable travel, which from countries which can send tourists to the different destinations on a long run for many, many years, or do they want to go for the short-term profits? For the short-term profits, for sure, regional market is very good, but for the long-term profit, it's the long-haul destinations, which is very sustainable and also from the income quality quite good. Yeah.
Vietnam ranks 67th in the World Economic Forum's Tourism Competitiveness Index. So what is your comment on this position of Vietnam?
Vietnam has already done a great deal in the last years to improve the competitiveness of the tourism, of its tourism sector. For example, a very good start was visa exemption out of 5 European countries. Also the application of the e-visa done via online is a big step forward to a better or higher competitiveness. But also what we have seen is now the increase in quality accommodation within Vietnam. Now in the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of hotel developments in many destinations in Vietnam have been built. International branded operators are managing those hotels, and the investors are often Vietnamese investors or international companies who finance the whole thing. But those kind of quality accommodation also allow Vietnam to receive the kind of numbers and quality of tourists from around the world. Also, the domestic air connectivity is quite good in Vietnam. You can travel to many destinations within Vietnam quite easily.
2018 is considered a successful year of Vietnam tourism with outstanding results. Many tourism projects and resorts of large scale, good quality and modern business methods according to international standards were in operation. The country currently has 2,000 international travel enterprises, of which 380 newly licensed enterprises. In 2018 alone, there are 113 accommodation establishments in 3 to 5-star guest rooms, of which 26 are 5-star accommodation establishments and 35 4-star accommodation establishments. Currently, the country has 28,000 accommodation facilities with over 550,000 rooms, increasing by more than 2,400 accommodation establishments compared to 2017.
Du lịch có đóng góp tích cực vào việc tăng trưởng GDP của đất nước, trở thành điểm sáng của nền kinh tế. Có thể nói, 2018 là một năm tiếp tục thắng lợi của du lịch Việt Nam, trong đó có sự đóng góp to lớn của cộng đồng doanh nghiệp. Năm 2019, du lịch Việt Nam phấn đấu đón từ 18 triệu lượt khách quốc tế trở lên, phục vụ 85 triệu lượt khách du lịch nội địa. Tổng thu từ khách du lịch đạt trên 700.000 tỷ đồng. Đây là mục tiêu phát triển cao, đặt ra sức ép lớn cho ngành du lịch, vừa tăng trưởng nhanh, vừa đòi hỏi phải phát triển bền vững.
In recent years, the promotion of tourism and market promotion have been done in many key markets such as Europe, China, Korea, Japan, ASEAN, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, etc. These programs have contributed to attracting a large number of international tourists to Vietnam in the past few years. Vietnam Tourism 2018 has many platforms for strong development. 2018 is the second year to realize the Central Resolution number 08 to identify tourism as the key economy. In 2018, the 2017 tourism law took effect. With a clear corridor, the tourism law has opened up favorable opportunities and many breakthroughs for Vietnam's tourism industry. In this context, Vietnam has enacted the resolution number 8, setting the targets for the tourism industry in Vietnam through to 2020. So what is your comment on these targets?
The Vietnamese government has in 2017 made the declaration. Tourism and hospitality, especially tourism, is a key sector in Vietnam to spearhead the Vietnamese economy. And based on this commitment, based on that statement, the Vietnamese government had done a lot of good initiatives and projects to drive forward the tourism sector. A couple of projects with the Vietnamese government did very well. It was, for example, the establishment of the Tourism Advisory Board, which is an independent board in Vietnam to advise Vietnamese government on the kind of initiatives, on the kind of changes they could adapt in order to improve the competitiveness and improve the market. The second one is the introduction of the e-visa. The third one is more visa exemption from more countries. So all those kind of initiatives have now in 2018, which has done in 2015, 16, 17, shown that they are successful. And if we continue to invest into those kind of initiatives, then for sure we continue to grow. And that's why we support fully what the Vietnamese government does. Yeah.
What about the human resource and the training of human resource in Vietnam? What is your comment on this issue?
Vietnamese people are extremely gentle, very kind and very friendly and open-minded to receive foreign guests, and they're very happy to do that. And this is the most important in tourism, that we are, hospitality means welcoming. That's exactly what it means, I welcome. Hospitality and training and vocational training, we can see that there are so many projects which are developing everywhere, in accommodation, in tours, in travel, in restaurants, in golf courses. But the training to man those kind of open positions at the moment it's still a little bit slow. So the student they do the primary education, they do the secondary education, and then they go to college. And sometimes they go to a specialized college, like a hospitality college. So, but I must say that even those students who come out of those more specialized colleges, when they enter the workplace, what they encounter in the workplace is very, very different than what they have learned at the school. And many times it's also the case that the English level is not sufficient. You know, if you work in hospitality, naturally most people, they don't speak Vietnamese, but they speak maybe English, maybe they speak Korean, maybe they speak another language. So the English level, let's say, or the language skill of Vietnamese people working in hospitality still is a big issue.
Sustainable development of tourism is very important. How do you view the progress, and what recommendations would you give to Vietnam?
For tourism and hospitality, sustainability first and foremost has two key priorities. The first one is we want to create a kind of tourism that Vietnam can benefit for long term. We don't want Vietnam to become a destination which is a hot and trendy destination for 1 or 2 years and then people go another place. But our objective is to establish Vietnam on the long term as an inbound destination, so that for many, many years to come Vietnam can benefit from international tourists. So in order to get sustainability in this regards, we have to look a little bit into the source markets. So historically seen, what are the kind of source markets that allow a sustainable growth of a destination? And one of the most important source markets for sustainable tourism here is the European market. If the European market is an extremely loyal market, so if a destination has a good reputation, if the service is good, European guests tend to come back and come back, even every year they come back. The second way, how we define sustainability, is also in terms of the environmental pollution. Now, why does a tourist come to Vietnam? It's the nature beauty, it's the cultural beauty, it's the history of the country, it's the people why they come. So, if a tourist comes from Europe and let's say they go to a beach in a particular destination and they see a lot of plastic, a lot of trash in the ocean, they will not be very happy. First of all, in Europe we don't have that, so they will be a little bit shocked when they see this. But secondly, they feel a little bit sad that the nature is not well taken care of. So if we talk about sustainability here, we also need to see into how can we protect the natural beauty of the country, not only for the tourists but also for Vietnamese people.
Once again, thank you for joining us and for your meaningful sharings today. And that's all we have for this episode of Shang Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at shangvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.